Hello students and welcome to the English class. Today I will be explaining you prose 2 Nelson Mandela A Long Walk to Freedom, and we will start from page number 19. So let's read the first paragraph given on page number 19 and try to understand what is given in this paragraph. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. So, here in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela says that just after the newly elected president's address to the audience, an impressive arrangement of fighter jets, helicopters, and soldier transporters raised everyone's head up in the sky, and they were amazed to see the spectacular means impressive array of the jets, and it symbolized perfection as well as military's respect and obedience towards a free country. And the high commanders who have won medals for their bravery also saluted and promised their loyalty. Mandela mentions that he was well aware that these commanders who were now saluting him would have arrested him under the previous rule as during the oppressive white supremacy, because that time they might have considered him to be a criminal. The air show finally ended by making the South African flag in the sky from smoke beneath the jets, just like as you can see in this picture. The jets are trying to make the South African flag with the smokes of different colors blown in the sky. Now let's read the further paragraph. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems and the vision of white singing Kosi, Sikalel, E Africa, and black singing Diastem, the old anthem of the Republic. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the words by heart. So, in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela says that he remembers the day as the playing of two national anthems of the country. One was of the whites and the other was of the blacks. The whites were singing their national anthem Kosi, Sikalel, E Africa, and blacks were singing the national anthem Diastem. And he says that on that day no one knew the wordings of the anthem of the blacks, but he was very sure and he was very confident that everyone would soon learn this anthem which they used to hate earlier. Okay, now let's read further. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhuman societies the world has ever known. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century and my own eighth decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all peoples regardless of the color and their skin. Okay, so now in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela speaks that on the day of the inaugural ceremony, he was remembering the days of the past when this whole system of apartheid emerged, means when it started. Okay, it resulted in inequality and inferior treatment of dark skinned people by the whites. They were deprived of their basic fundamental rights. As a result, one of the world's most brutal, most cruel and inhuman society was born. Now this began even before he was born. He says that even he was not born, before that it was continuing. This system created an atmosphere of extreme cruelty and injustice for a particular part of the community, that was for blacks. And now when he is in 8th decade as a man, so he, as Nelson Mandela, along with countless others, have changed this entire system, and that treats humans as humans irrespective of their color, caste, gender or age. Further, in the next paragraph, that day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people, people whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them, and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had wrought. So now in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela says that this equal and free country was not only a result of his own sacrifices, but it was a result of sacrifices of countless other men and women who have fought all their lives for this day. Okay, the author now he wishes if he could thank them all, but unfortunately they didn't live to see the result of their courage. So Nelson Mandela gathered his courage and power from all these people, and thus wishes to make them feel proud. In the next paragraph, the policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, and that was that it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sisulu, the Chief Luthulus, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobuquets of our time, men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. Okay, so now in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela, he says that the oppression policy scared many people, and it will take a long time from them to move on. Okay, and he mentions that this hard time had its negative impacts, but it also exposed a lot of strong and courageous men who stood up and raised their voice against this discrimination. So thus, overall he says that it required that level of unjust treatment to produce such great heroes. And South Africa, he says, is rich in minerals and gems, and but its greatest strength lies in its people. And he has also mentions the name of some people who have struggled to achieve this freedom based on discrimination of race, that is color. So as you can see here, some of the famous personalities picture as well as the names are given, those who have contributed in this struggle of freedom from discrimination based on colors. Now further moving to the next paragraph, it is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Time and again I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers the fear. So now in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela is trying to say that he has gained his strength to stand against the wrong from all the great nationalists he mentioned above. So, as I have shown you the pictures, and so he says that with those nationalists, he has gained certain strength from them how to fight against this discrimination. And he says that they have even risked their lives for freedom and tolerated ill treatment, and they never stopped fighting. So he says that he had learned that courage didn't mean the absence of fear, but it's the ability to overcome fear. Okay, it's very important to understand. He says that courage didn't mean the absence of fear. It is not the absence of fear that you are courageous, but it's the ability to overcome fear. If you have this ability to overcome any type of fear, that means you are a courageous person. The man who overcomes his fear is called brave. Okay, so now next paragraph, let's read it. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Okay, so if you read this, you will see that many important sentences are written by Nelson Mandela, which has a very deeper meaning. Okay, so I will just explain you the summary of this paragraph. He says that one is taught by society to hate humans because of their skin, color, age, gender, and religion. But it's a fact that no one is inborn with hatred. Okay, nobody takes birth in this world with the hatred in his heart. Okay, and he is having this idea that if people can be taught hatred, then they can also be taught love and brotherhood. Okay, he says that nobody is born with hatred in his heart. So if people can teach anybody to hate each other, so it's very easy that people can be taught to love also, because love comes more naturally to the human heart than the hatred. Okay, and then he shares an experience of his life when he was in prison, and that time was the grimmest time for him, means it was a very sad time for him. And he says that in those testing times in the prison, when they were being treated brutally, means very badly, with cruelty, so Mandela would see a pinch of humanity and kindness in one of the guards. Okay, in one of the guard he felt that humanity was still there and guards, so he felt to keep moving further. And then he believes that goodness in human beings can be suppressed, can be ended for certain time, but it cannot be eliminated, it cannot be removed from anybody's heart. Okay, now further, there is oral comprehension check questions. There are 5 questions written over there, and this again you have to do by yourself. So thank you. We will see the further chapter in the next video.